Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to the big show. It's 8 o'clock on Monday night, January the 24th, 2022. It's the last, is this the last January? No, it's not the last January. The last Monday in January. We have one more next week, Monday the 31st, I believe, if I got my mathematics correct. Welcome one, welcome all to the channel today. I hope you're doing okay out there. I hope you're taking good care of yourselves. You're not getting ill, following all the instructions you were supposed to follow. Nice to have you here. I missed you all last week. It was the national holiday, Dr. Martin Luther King Day, and so I took advantage of that holiday to get an extra day of rest. And oh, did I need it! It was really handy. But we're back at it again this week, and it's nice to see you folks here. And I'm glad you could join me today from wherever you are around the world. If you could do me a favor, if you hit the thumbs up button tonight and you find out your thumbs up number 14 or 22 or 16, let me know what number you are on the thumbs up meter. That's one way I can figure out how many thumbs ups we got going for this show. Thank you all so much for throwing a thumbs ups our way. Hopefully today we can hit 100 thumbs ups. We'll cross our fingers and we'll get you going on the thumbs up meter at ASAP. Thank you all, as always, for being followers of this channel. I haven't been able to post very much because just thinking about this. The 5th of October last year, Jennifer and I arrived in Palm Desert, California. We landed in LAX and we've rented a Tesla and we drove it out here. And we had a condo, and we stayed in the condo from October the 5th until the end of the year. Then we switched condos after a one-night hotel stay. We switched condos, and we're now in a condo here in the same golf complex until the end of February. And we haven't gone into, say, Los Angeles to hang out. We haven't gone to see an LA Kings hockey game or to Anaheim. We haven't gone to the Getty Museum. These are places we'd love to go. I mean, Jen and I, we love the LA area. We really do. We love everything Los Angeles. Many things Los Angeles. The Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. They have a huge flea market there. I think it's once a month. They have a gigantic flea market that surrounds the entire Rose Bowl. We used to do this years ago when we were last here, way back when. But we don't dare go out. We're vaccinated. We've got our booster shots, and we've been healthy. And we're not interested in going out into the open world to expose ourselves to a lot of other people. We just are not choosing to do that. So we're hunkering down, I guess you could say, in this area, this area. So we're in the valley here, Palm Springs, um, um, Cathedral City, Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, Indio. This whole region, we're here, and so we have our Costco store a couple miles over there. We have anything else we need within 5 miles of this place, and we're enjoying it very much, and the weather. And of course, I am in front of this computer for hours a day between this channel, but mainly my other channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. And Monday to Friday, I'm busy with the markets, and we're just not going out. And so I have nothing to film for my travel channel. I can't make a video of Jennifer and I going to Pink's Hot Dogs, or going to Felipe's roast hand dipped roast beef sandwiches. We can't take a day going to the Getty Museum. We can't go to Santa Monica Beach. We're not going anywhere, and that is the plan on purpose because of the variants and the viruses and all the offshoots, and the whole thingy. And so here we are. Now we've had some visitors. We've had our daughter come down a couple of times. I think 3 times she's come down, and it's been glorious each time. But it's been very short, 3, 4, 5 days. That's all. And so we've had a little company here, a little company there, but that's about it. It's been really a calm 5-month experience, going to be 5-month experience. And so this channel, Traveling with Bruce, just has the traveler is just not traveling. And so I have nothing to post. Now, as far as cruising goes, we have nothing booked for a cruise and we have nothing planned yet for a cruise either. We're coming to the point where at the end of February, we'll have been in the United States for approaching 100 and oh gosh, what would that be now? 150 plus days. We're allowed 180 days a year, and so what we're thinking about now is we're kind of figuring we'll be back in Calgary in Canada sometime in early March. Unfortunately for us, hopefully it won't be blizzardy at the time, and we will likely hang out in Calgary through March, and then sometime in April, we're kind of crossing our fingers that maybe by the middle of April, we will get on an airplane, fly to Europe. And we will, between now and that time, we'll figure out what we're going to do in Europe. We'll figure out where we're going, what we're doing when we get there, whether we're going to just rent an Airbnb in Berlin or maybe Rome, or arrange for railway passes throughout the continental Europe over a 60-day time frame, something like that. Will we book a cruise in the Mediterranean? Would we look to book a river cruise in June in Europe, perhaps? A zillion possibilities. Because we can go anywhere we want in Europe and go anywhere we'd like to, anywhere we want to go. The problem with that is, well, where don't you go? Where do you go? Where don't you go? And how are you going to do it? And we have no ideas. And of course, Europe has had its adventures with the COVID vaccine, shutdowns, restrictions. I mean, every country over there has had its own issues. I don't want to play Russian roulette with that. And now the other issue is, well, what if the Russians invade Ukraine all of a sudden, and other countries rush to aid Ukraine, and now Europe becomes a bit too dicey for vacationers in certain countries. They recommend you don't go, and oh gosh, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just that's the reaction right there. And I don't know what to tell you. It's one of those weird scenarios, and we're just kind of going, boy, when you can't go and you can't afford to go, you can't wait to go. When you can afford to go, but now you might not be able to go because of other restrictions, you don't get to go. I mean, this world is kind of goofy, isn't it? Anyway, there you have it. So that's what's going on with us right now. We're just kind of dealing with it. I want to say thank you to all of you who are saying hi to me already. Tell me, where are you watching me from? What's your temperature out there? Say hi to me. Ken Kuchera, greetings, Bruce, Jen, and all from a cold Saginaw, Michigan. The temperature is 21 degrees, falling to 5 overnight. Gasoline is $3.25 a gallon. Jen, Ken, that's Fahrenheit we're talking about. So yeah, that's cold. Stephen Butler, the red bubble order arrived, Bruce. Traveling with Bruce cap on for good mojo during the show. Last week it was the snow melting, more melting, highs in the 60s today. Northwest Arkansas, the gas 289. Very good. Jeannie, hello, Bruce and TWBers. Bill and Jeannie are here for the big show from East Tennessee. Welcome again, you guys. Nathan is here. Hello, TWB family. Currently 32 in Asheville. It snowed last week, and there's still snow here. We're gas around $3 a gallon around here. Norwegian Escape. We're leaving in 26 days. Yes, baby, get going. Let's make that happen. Bullcraft Max. Hi, Bruce. Hope you're doing well. COVID cases in New York City are going way down, thankfully. And I'm so happy about that. Missed you last week and hope you're doing well. We are good. That one extra day off really helps a lot. And I'll tell you, I couldn't believe how much I slept. I could not believe last weekend. Oh gosh, did I catch up on some sleep. Hylian Ninja Crafts and Gaming says, Bullcraft Max, thumbs up, number 12. Nathan, I'm number 16. Mary says, I'm number 14. Bullcraft, even though the COVID cases are going down in New York, it is definitely too soon for a vacation. Yeah. Linda Dewar, number 13. Jeff Dintner, I'm number 19. Thumbs up, number 19. Celia Martin, I will be on Carnival Mardi Gras February 5, and I'm number 14. Right on. Alan James LeBlanc, I'm number 15. Two of each, Mom, I'm number 22. Yolanda Riviera, I'm number 12. Bill Hott, number 15. Ms. M. Hi, Bruce. I missed you too. Glad we get to see you today live from foggy Maple Ridge, British Columbia. Welcome, Ms. M. And by the way, she's number 32. Chantal L., number 5. So cold in Quebec. Brrr. Welcome, Chantal, to the show. I used to know a Chantal in Quebec many, many years ago. Oh my goodness. I had a little more hair back then, but it was still pretty thin. Royal Bermuda Gazette, joint provisional liquidators have been appointed by the Supreme Court of Bermuda to assist in restructuring the indebtedness of Genting Hong Kong Limited Industry Future. Yes, I'm going to be talking about Genting here in the show a little bit later. Sandy Robinson, happy Monday evening, TWB family from sunny, cold, snowy Medicine Hat, Alberta. Welcome, Sandy Robinson, from snowy, cold, sunny, snowy, cold Medicine Hat, Alberta. Oh my God. Andrew Cabate, hi Bruce and Jen. Sylvia, hi Bruce, greetings from Greensboro. I'm number 9, number 34. Kirk Brunson, YouTube's and Facebook channel. Hey Bruce and TB family. Kirk from the Big Apple's here, and I'm still at work. Kelly Haston is in the house. Wanted to stop by and say hi to you and Jen. Thank you so much, Kelly. Welcome. Celia Martin, greetings from Tennessee. Bill Snyder, hi from Northern Ohio. Snow and 0 at night. Andrew, hi Bruce and Jen. Ann Rogers, hi Bruce, number 41. Ann and Brent, 12 degrees, lots of snow in Ancaster, Ontario. Gas, $1.45.9 a liter. Oh man, 3.7 liters for an American gallon of gas. Yeah, that's like $4 US or more. That's up there. Alan, Virgin Islands at 77 degrees. Right on. Lee Scher, it's 55 in Palm Beach where I am, and that's pretty darn good. Frumbler, I'm number 39. thumbs up, number 39 for you, buddy. Saying good day all. It's above 0 in Edmonton, Alberta. Space Force Cooks, Space Force Cooks, thumbs up, Bruce. Don't worry. You can travel. Go to Bimini. All the cool kids like the Crystal Symphony are doing it. The Crystal Symphony could appear on the FBI's most wanted list. There you go. Kimberly, hey, Bruce, morning. We woke up to -8 and wind chill of -22. Rush, New York, near Rochester. Here's to a great 2023. Welcome, Kimberly. Lee, glad to hear you're so conservative regarding cruising and your health and safety. William Allen, hi, Bruce. This is Will from Maryland. Welcome, Will from Maryland. Diane, snowy Chicago. I love Chicago. Love the folks in Chicago. Some of the best people in the world are from Chicago. Joseph, number 46 for thumbs ups, buddy. 31 below overnight in Saskatchewan. That's Celsius, and that's cold. Yikes, Lee. We just canceled Alaska and canceled our Crystal Serenity 3 days before bankruptcy. I think it'll be a long time before we get our $1,000 back. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Louise, hi, Bruce. Were you on vacation all last week? It's very cold here in Kitchener, Ontario. Nothing new here. First of all, Kitchener, Ontario is one of the most incredible places in all the world, as is Waterloo, Ontario. Former resident of that region. I did not take all last week off. No, I took off just the Monday. I was on the air Friday. Then I had one-on-one sessions on Saturday and Sunday in the mornings. And then the afternoons I was off. And then Monday I got the day off. That was Martin Luther King Day. And I took that one completely off. So I wasn't on the air anywhere. And did I rest. I was so tired. Miss M, Maple Ridge, British Columbia, $1.68 a liter for gasoline over here. Oh my gosh. That's getting kind of, well, that's six something, about $6 Canadian for an American gallon of gas. So yeah, that's 450 a gallon. I get no 480 a gallon US for a US gallon. Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's not Euro prices. It's not Euro prices, so I guess it's not that bad. But ooh, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Thank you, all of you, for popping in here and catching up with me. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for these thumbs ups and letting me know what number you are. Thank you. It helps me figure out where are we doing on the thumbs up meter today. The big news in the cruise world is now been this has been brewing this story for about 2 weeks, and to be honest, this story has been kicking around in a lighter way, not so prevalent and not so dominant a story for the last 3 years. I started my TWB channel in August 2017, and by 2018, I already was reading stories and I was reporting stories to you guys about Genting. All kinds of stories on Genting kept coming out again and again and again. And it used to be that I would report a story about Genting doing they would refinance one of their ships, or they would put together an import export bank financing package with the government of Germany, for example, for a ship that they're building for their cruise line. They used to own the Werft shipyard in Germany. Now they just announced a week and a bit ago, and I think I announced this 2 weeks ago on this channel, like maybe on this show 2 weeks ago, that the Werft shipyard is in receivership. And that's not a surprise because the shipyards in Germany and in Finland and in France and Italy, they're all being subsidized and assisted by various governments, because we are talking about these facilities that kind of go from feast to famine when it comes to business. But right now, they're being adversely affected by the COVID nightmare that many businesses are facing. And in the cruise yard business, you are going to build a ship for Norwegian or Royal Caribbean or any other ship company, any other ship cruise line. You're talking about, in reality, a 5-year project from the very beginning to the very end, because you first have to engineer the ship. You have to figure out the logistics of how big is it, how wide, how heavy, how many cabins, how many decks, all that logistics. So the engineering has to be done, the drafting. Uh, then you have to figure out the components of said vessel, because back in 1911 and 12 and 1905 and 7, when back in the UK and in Ireland, when they were building ships like the Titanic and the Lusitania and the Olympia and all these other ships that were built over the decades, they were completely built on site, within the country. Because in those days, you didn't have airplanes to be able to fly parts in from around the world. You didn't have fax machines. You didn't have the ability to order made to order components from Germany delivered to Ireland to put into an ocean liner. It was all done there. Today, a cruise ship is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment, and it's not uncommon that a cruise ship now, when it hits the water, has been supplied by hundreds of suppliers for everything on board, from dishes to furniture to insulation to wiring to speakers to televisions, uh, guidance equipment, radar, the uniforms, the steel itself, the paint. On it goes. You've got dozens and dozens of factories. You've got dozens of countries where these items are produced, all under a specific measurement, weight, design, component, and it's all then brought to the shipyard for final assembly. And so you're talking 5 years from the beginning of the concept of the ship to design to approval to engineering to build out to launch. And the Werft shipyard, like any other shipyard, needs many years to bring out a ship to the client. Well, these countries where these shipyards are located, they know this. They're very familiar with their homegrown industries, and they're also very aware in the European Union, of course. You have what 23 countries who are members of the EU or whatever the number is. You have French factories, German factories, Norwegian, Finnish, and on and go, all supplying parts for cruise ships and trains and automobiles and furniture makers and computer designers and anything else electronic all the time. And so the shipyard might be located in Germany, and there might well be 10,000 jobs on the line at the shipyard, or say 2,000 full time and 8,000 come and go jobs, with under contractor type positions. But you also have tens of thousands of jobs everywhere else in Europe that are also tied into this place. And so the government will assist the shipyard and the cruise line accepting this vessel with financing to keep the payroll going. And at the end of it all, when the ship is done and delivered, and now the cruise line accepts delivery of the vessel along with the financing from their bankers, who will finance the completed ship, not a partial, a completed ship. That is when big checks change hands. And this is where I used to come in the Cayman Islands. When I was living in the Cayman Islands, you would have dozens of suppliers and assemblers and contractors, and you would have major banks all involved in financing out a project, maybe a bridge to be built in Denmark with 15 countries of services coming in. You had to settle up the books somewhere. And where can you settle up the books for all of these contractors, all these players? One place is the Cayman Islands. Another place is Switzerland. Another place is the Bermudas, where you'd settle up the insurance claims. Turks and Caicos. I mean, wherever there's a tax-free environment, you can settle up, you can handle lots of money back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, so that everybody came to the party with invoices and checks, and everybody left the party with paid invoices and written checks, and everybody's happy. That's what the Cayman Islands are for, to settle up these kinds of contracts. So these ships that get built in the Werft shipyard and others, by the time it's completed, you've got thousands of checks being written to all kinds of suppliers, and that you name it. And the German government is backstopping the financing all along the build out phase, so that nothing stops that ship from getting built. Every employee gets paid, all the plumbers, all the electricians, all the welders, all the engineers, all the draftspeople, everybody, inspectors, you name it, everyone's getting paid. And so there's no interruption. The ship gets built in quickly, safely, and efficiently. And the ship is finished on time, on budget. And now everybody is happy to be paid by everyone who has to pay everybody else. And the bankers who now finance that ship for the cruise line for the next 20 years are happy to issue a check for $100 million or $1.2 billion, depending on how big the ship is, to the shipyard, which then is splitting out that dough to everybody, all through the German government's sponsorship and guidance and so on. Well, the Werft shipyard has for years been dealing with ship after ship after ship after ship under exactly these conditions. with all kinds of auditors and accountants and bean counters on site and elsewhere, along with government officials and inspectors to make sure it all goes smoothly. And Verft, up until a year ago, and even in the last 6 months, they were receiving funds from the German government to keep on going, even in the middle of a pandemic, because ship cruise lines were saying, we don't need that ship when it's done. We know that ship is supposed to be delivered to us, say in June 2021. But we can't accept that ship in June 2021 because we can't put a paying passenger on any of our ships until the end of this virus. And we are going to need up to a year longer before we accept the delivery of the ship. So this puts the shipbuilder in an awful position because they got a ship that's 80% built in their facility, and they got a ship behind that ship that has to be built right after this one's finished. They can't sit there for a year. They're going to be behind on the next contract, and that all kinds of penalties come into play. So this ship must be completed. And all these workers who've been hired to build out this ship, they're all specialty contractors. You can't just let them go now. You got to get done. So you had many contractors not be able to ship in as many workers as they wanted to, again, because of COVID. The ship would take longer to build. It would be longer for delivery. And the good news was the German government was there, along with the French government for the French shipbuilders and the Italians for the Italians and the Finns for the Finns, and on and on and on. They were all there to back up their national interests, which are these shipbuilding yards. So Verft got a lot of help. They got a lot of financing through Germany to keep going, to just keep going, keep going. Ships would get built, ships would be sea tested, and ships would be ready to be delivered, but not be delivered to the cruise line. But the cruise line, the shipbuilding yard would get paid for their work. They did their part, and that's how Verft survived. Unfortunately, Verft is to the point now where even if they finish the ship they're working on now, and it's 80% done, there's one being done right now. As soon as it's done, it'll be delivered. All the money coming to Verft for that ship is going out to all the contractors, and there's nothing left over for Verft. And so Verft is bankrupt. The shipbuilding yard is technically insolvent. Genting owns Verft. Genting has no pot to piss in anymore to get any more credit from anybody else for any other reason. And so the ship will be completed in the Verft shipyard and will be delivered to a cruise line, and it'll all go through. Everyone will be paid for it. That'll all be done, but Verft will be the loser because whatever money they're getting has already been pre-spent, and they're in the hole about 200 million euros, and they're done for. And so what will happen with Verft is it will go into receivership, which it probably is already. It will be reorganized under a new corporate structure that the government of Germany will assist in creating, and will be sold to somebody else to take over. And I don't know who that is, but my hunch is it might be MSC. It might be, which would give MSC, the Italian cruise line, a second shipyard out of Germany. Now, I could be wrong. It might be Carnival. It might be the Royal Caribbean. It could be anybody that will buy, or it's none of the existing cruise lines whatsoever. Absolutely none whatsoever. It'll be an industrial entity that will buy that and that corporation with all of its employees and run it at a much more efficient manner, perhaps. And since they're funded with a lot of capital, they will be able to run without interest expenses when they build ships. But again, Genting has lost hundreds of millions of dollars, unfortunately, of their capital in this project because of many factors, including a certain virus which will remain nameless. Well, in the meantime, Genting also owns casinos. They also own holiday resorts. They own resorts in various areas around the world. Lots of gambling facilities. They have a lot of other interests, and they happen to also own two cruise lines. They own Crystal Cruise Lines, which is based in Los Angeles. And they also own another company called Dream Cruises, which is based, I believe, out of Hong Kong. And I believe Dream Cruises has 3 ships, from what I understand. But Crystal Cruises have been around for decades, many, many years, the 80s, the 90s. And Crystal Cruises has a reputation of a good quality cruise line, really high standards, 6-star luxury, loyal fan base, specifically U.S. well-to-do passengers love Crystal. They love their Crystal cruise lines. And Crystal, through Genting, they were reinvesting in the line and wanted to keep right on going. But like everybody else in the cruise business, Crystal got shut down. No passengers for a good year and a half. And only recently have they started to sail again. And the Crystal Symphony cruise ship was supposed to enter the port of Miami the other day. But at the last minute, the second day before going back to Miami, the ship altered its itinerary and ended up in Bimini Island, the Bimini Island of the Bahamas. And the ship stayed overnight there with its passengers. And after on the next day, when the ship was supposed to go back to Miami, it did not leave Bimini. And what ended up happening was the passengers were informed by the captain that the mother company, Genting, their owners, have declared bankruptcy. And so the ship cannot go any further at this time. It'll have to stay here in the Bahamas. What he may or may not have said, he may or may not have mentioned it, but the word is we all know what's going on. If the ship would have returned to Miami, the ship would have been seized by U.S. Marshals acting on behalf of a federal court order. The cruise line, Genting, the mother company, and then this cruise line through the mother company, they owe some certain amount of money to a company that provides fuel to the ships. In other words, they owe money for some gasoline, and they have not paid that bill because they are broke. And the entity that is owed money is allowed under marine law to seek court help. In this case, the United States, because this ship was coming back to U.S. to Miami at the end of its cruise, and they sought the court's permission to have the ship seized and hopefully the ship kind of held for ransom to get paid, or the ship would be sold off to pay any IOUs. Now, I can guarantee you that as I speak to you now and in the next days and weeks, there will likely be dozens of other entities out there that will be coming to the court for relief for IOUs. Crystal is not going to sail at this time anymore. All of their ships are now parked, docked, wherever they are. In the case of Bimini in the Bahamas, apparently the ship is safe from U.S. Marshals there at the moment. Now, Genting is being wound up. The executives of Genting today announced that they were resigning. The CEO and others they all resigned today, which is what has to happen. You have to have the existing management leave the company, and then a receiver is appointed by a court to assume the role of top positions to reorganize these companies, sell them off, liquidate them, whatever has to be done. Now, story goes that the Crystal Cruise Line, there are interested parties that would like to acquire the Crystal Cruise Line, apparently, and some of them go along these lines. One of them is called Lindblad, and I believe Lindblad Expeditions have been at the negotiating table already with Genting. They've already been talking about a deal because Lindblad bought the Crystal Esprit in 2021, one of the ships that Crystal had. Lindblad has been active in the acquisition space, also having bought up complementary complementary companies in recent years, other companies similar. While Crystal's big ocean-going luxury ships don't fit the Lindblad product, the river ships, the New Endeavor, and Passenger List could be ideal. Now, MSC is rumored also to possibly be interested in this deal. It says here that the MV Werften, this is the shipyard, Werften shipyard, and a 75% completed 5,000 guest Global Dream cruise ship being built at Werften could present an interesting opportunity for fast-growing MSC cruises. The family-owned company, which is Swiss-owned MSC. By the way, MSC is the second largest container ship company in the world for container ships around the world. Family company is known to make quick decisions and wants to dominate the cruise industry. Could a shipyard and new build designed for China give them a platform to accelerate future growth even more? This ship, the Global Dream, for 5,000 passengers, was designed for the Chinese market. If MSC can grab that cruise line, grab that shipbuilding yard and this cruise line, they can rebrand that ship as an MSC ship for China. Automatic entry. It could prove tempting. The Endeavor would also allow the company to enter the expedition market overnight because the Endeavor for Crystal is designed to go to Antarctica and the Arctic. And MSC now could instantly enter that market. Now, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian, could one of the three major players acquire Crystal into their portfolio of brands? It would prevent potential new competition. However, chances are the answer is no, as all three would see significant pushback from the investment community, which is focused on short-term financial performance. These three cruise lines are 60 billion in the hole, and they'd need to borrow more money to take on the entire Genting problem, which will require billions more. I don't know. That might be too much for them to overcome. Azamara and Sycamore, after buying Azamara Cruises from Royal Caribbean in early 2021, Sycamore Partners, a private equity company, added a fourth ship to the acquisition of the Pacific with the acquisition of the Pacific Princess. It's no secret in industry circles they have been looking for more. A new parent company could operate both brands and a lean shoreside organization. And vessel management from ships, the V ships, which is already running the Azamara fleet. It will allow Sycamore to add to its ocean-going capacity while entering the expedition and river markets. Crystal does river cruises. Ponant, 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 another small cruise line that has been quickly growing is Ponant. With well-financed French owners, the boutique luxury operator has acquired both Travel Dynamics and Paul Gauguin and introduced a fleet of new ships for the Ponant brand. So maybe they might take over Crystal. National Investment Fund, it's not a matter of if, but when, as it relates to a major public investment fund from a Middle Eastern country buying majority control of a cruise line. Because in Saudi Arabia, UAE, that region, luxury cruising is a big opportunity, a huge growth opportunity. There are many well-to-do folks over there. And if a Saudi Arabian or UAE kind of wealth fund can cut a deal to take over Crystal, between the river cruises in Europe and the ocean liners, you might have something there. Hotel chain, the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection and the Margaritaville entered the cruise industry in 2022. For hotel chains with a fear of missing out, this may be a key opportunity to get into the business. So that could be interesting. New money. The pandemic has brought new private equity money, hedge funds, and new investors into the cruise industry. According to sources, there are still multiple deep-pocketed investors waiting for the right time to buy in. So there are vultures flying around loaded with money who could come in on any time. A river operator, the Crystal River ships are said to be drawing interest from a number of existing European river operators. So we may have a split here. We may have the Crystal River cruises split off into one sail package, and then the ocean going Crystal ships will be sold off to another group of investors as another package. So there's some interesting info about Crystal that's going on right now because of Genting's problem. So this for Genting, or at least let's say Genting's creditors, could be the way to go. That the Werften shipyard could be spun off to an MSC along with that 5,000 passenger ship that is three-quarters of the way finished for the China market. Could be an MSC branded ship now, and now MSC has its own its own shipyard in Germany. That could be a source of relief for Genting. A bunch of debts and whatever have you will be offloaded. And the German government, I'm sure, would be very interested in negotiating some kind of arrangement for MSC to come on in there. Lots of jobs to be saved and so on. And then the Crystal Ocean Line and the Crystal River cruise lines. A number of suitors for both or either or might attract top dollar for the receiver to then pass on to the bankers. Now, Genting and its casinos and its resorts, that will likely be sold off to, let's say, any of the casinos in the Asia area will likely be sold off to Asian specialty casino operators. Would make sense, right? Any resorts in various countries might be pieced off to be sold individually or as part of a group, that kind of thing. Unless there's a single buyer for the whole enchilada, the whole deal, then we have something else. And it could be that maybe the receiver gets an offer from a single buyer for everything, and that buyer begins the reorganization of each of the divisions and slowly pieces off each of the divisions one by one over 5 years rather than in a hurry. Because selling in a hurry, you don't get top dollar. Selling over time, you can extract more money because you can put money into a division, fix it up, purdy it up, and get it all, operating again properly before you piece it off. And you can maximize your dollars. So that could be what's going on. I'm just curious. We'll see how all this plays out. Sheila Martin, we canceled Transatlantic on the Royal Caribbean Odyssey for October. We canceled. Sandra Robson, hi Bruce. I was number 2 thumbs ups, by the way. Thank you. Georgina, what's this? Vom, I have no idea what that means. Julie Dahl, in Aussie, and we have to travel to Europe to get back to cruising. And oh, I see. Eddie, sorry, just got on. What did I miss? How's Jen? Everything's great. Jen's super. Juan Garcia, I'm thumbs up number 56. Bruce. Eddie Albert, I'm number 59. Louise, actually, there's something new. We decided to get a snowblower this year. Jerry is enjoying his snow removal tasks around the neighbors. Got a new toy. Beautiful. John Ware, Bruce, the Coachella Valley has become the Lithium Valley under the Salton Sea, 20 miles south of you, according to CBS this morning. World's largest find, all to stay in the U.S. Yes, apparently the story goes just away, 27 miles from where I am roughly. So that would be east and south towards the Mexican border, but in the USA. The Salton Sea is how do I say this? The Earth's core, the mantle of the Earth, is at its closest spot to the surface of the Earth at the Salton Sea. Around the Salton Sea are what they call mud pots. And what a mud pot is it looks like the Earth is burping. And you've got this, you got, looks like a swampy area with some muck and mud. And then you see this burping coming up, gas coming from deep within the Earth. It smells like sulfur and mud being burped up. And there are just acres of this stuff. There's many an area in the Salton Sea region where there's evidence of the Earth's crust just below the surface, and it is fascinating. In any event, what's been happening? Geologists have been here for years and years and years, and they've mapped this whole area out, and they've begun to start drilling wells, deep wells, to go down to where the heat is, to extract the gas that's down there, because the gas that is down there, 4,000 feet down or more, contains all kinds of stuff in it. It's not just sulfur and all that. Apparently, there is lithium um, in this gas and other chemicals. So apparently, you can metals and what have you, metals and chemicals, you name it. So apparently, what's going on right now, as I am sitting here talking to you, there are a number of companies who are drilling experimental wells over there in the Salton Sea. They've all been approved by the federal government and the state of California. It's all environmentally approved. And what they're trying to figure out is they're trying to figure out if they can commercially drill wells that will naturally just spew out under unbearable pressure this treasure trove of endless earth magma, the steam laden with lithium and other chemicals, other metals. And so what they're doing is they're now drilling the holes, and they're going to, under controlled conditions, let this gas to come out into pipes, which will then go into processing facilities. None of this escapes into the environment. Believe me, California is strict. And this gas will be purified, and they will separate out the impurities, and then they will re-inject the gas back down underground, a mile away, kind of thing. So they're trying to find the spots where they can drill for the best results to come up, and then just reintroduce the gas, the other gas, back down without the lithium in it, so they can extract lithium for batteries for Teslas and everybody else. And the hope is, the big gamble is that there could be thousands of these over a huge area. We're talking miles and miles and miles of territory here, and we're talking directional drilling, all kinds of techniques to drill this. So it's minimal impact, maximum return. And the hope of the Salton Sea area is that this will be an economic boom to the area, and it'll be done in a very clean way. So that's the story. Coachella Valley. We'll hear more about it. Last weekend in Miami Port, 2 cruises went sailing: Royal Freedom of the Seas and Carnival. Thank you, Juan. Eddie, Boo, Hong Kong. John, world's largest field. Reminds me when we were out of whale oil in Illinois. Stephen, Crystal Cruises, Dream Cruises, Star Cruises, Genting Hong Kong owns 3 cruise lines. Stephen Stair, hello, Bruce, just joining you now. Welcome to the show. Eddie, boutique ships are not favorable as cost is a niche market. Sylvia, 90 people watching. Hit the thumbs up for Bruce, please. Thank you so much. Rocky, hi there, Bruce. I was thumbs up number 69, but the count is now 75. The time is 8:42. Thank you, sir. We're now 8:48, and the thumbs ups keep coming in. 95 people watching, says Sylvia. Only 76 thumbs ups. What number is your thumbs up, people? There you go. Thank you, Sylvia, for asking and mentioning. The mud pots are real neat, says RMS. There also can be a big earthquake coming someday. That's true. Again, we have fault lines all over the place, and it's an active geological area. We're still growing here. Sean and Wendy, God is amazing. Uncle Bruce, do you think one of the big 3, like Norwegian, will go bankrupt? I don't know. We won't know for at least another 2 years, because they have enough money raised to last that long. So we don't know yet. John, Uncle Jed started shooting, and up came the batteries. That's right. Arrow Ashley, VOT FYI. Again, I don't quite know what's going on there, but thank you, all of you, for these thumbs ups that you're already giving me. If you give me a thumbs up and tell me what number you are, then I know how many we've got going. I appreciate this. So we're hoping to hit 100 thumbs ups today. We're crossing our fingers and hoping for the best. Is there anything else I was going to tell you about the company? I think I've covered everything about Crystal that I was going to mention today about this whole story where the management has quit and now possible buyers and we're going to hear a lot more about this. This is going to be a story months in the making as it evolves going forward. Believe me, we're going to hear a lot more about this. What we are waiting for, of course, are what will be the travel rules for all of us regarding the entry and exit of North America, the entry and exit of Europe, and everywhere else. I just noticed tonight that the Cayman Islands has modified their entry requirements to the Cayman Islands. It used to be that if you were coming to the islands for visit or something like that, you had to quarantine for up to 10 days, and you had to provide tests, negative test results on day 2, 5, 7, and 10. I think it is. They've now changed that where the quarantine process is down to 7 days, and you only have to provide results on the when you land, day 2, day 5, and day 7, no longer day 10. Still very onerous compared to most other countries, but Caymans are being careful because you're talking about an island of 65,000 people, and they don't want to get 30,000 folks infected with a virus. I mean, they only have so much hospital space on the island, and passengers have to be flown out if they're really bad off, and sometimes the trip alone can do them in. I mean, do them more harm than good. So Caymans are being careful. I also read that the United Kingdom apparently they're now allowing international passengers to come into the UK, and you do not have to get a test at the airport when you land anymore. If you are vaccinated, you can come on in. So they're lifting that. Now, in the United States, the latest rules now, apparently, if you're coming into the U.S. by a ferry, which would be, East Coast, West Coast of the USA, or from the South, or you're coming into the United States by land, you now have to be vaccinated, fully vaccinated, to be able to come into the U.S. And you still have to have a negative test, which I think is 24 hours. I think 24 hours or less. Certainly for flying. I know that. We're for flying. I believe they're talking about possibly making it not only do you have to be vaccinated, you have to be booster vaccinated. So that's 3 shots that you have to have. Jen and I have all 3 of ours. And now I heard today or yesterday, I've heard that Israel is now looking to administer a 4th shot, a second booster. So a year ago, Israelis got their first shot. Then 2, 3 months later, they got their second shot. 6 months later, they got their booster shot. And now 4 to 6 months after that, the next booster shot. So that is the talk about this whole thingy regarding the virus. Eddie Albert, are you guys staying for a while or moving on? Austin, hi, Uncle Bruce. Just saw you were on, so I popped in to give you a thumbs up. Austin, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Stephen, great in-depth analysis on your part on the crystal story. Thank you. Cloud 7 Travel. Hi, Bruce from Calgary. It cooled down to 2 degrees Celsius today, but it'll be 8 tomorrow. Nice. That's like 40 something. Probably mid 40s. That's, for Calgary in January, it's pretty good. John Weir, Bruce, Beverly Hillbillies humor. Sorry, I love it. I love it. What was that? Here's a story of Jed go shoot. So he's going out shooting for some food, and out comes the ground comes a bubbling crude oil. That is Texas tea, black gold. And next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kin folks said, Jed, get out of there. California is the place you want to be. So they loaded up the truck and headed to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. How can you forget that? When you're a kid and that show was on, and you're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you don't forget those lyrics. They're in there. They're in there. Oh my, Billy Clampett. That's right. I remember one line. Just one line. I remember Mr. Drysdale had a gentleman arrive to the Mr. Clampett's mansion, and he was dropped off by a taxi driver or a limo driver, and Mr. Drysdale escorted the gentleman right into the house right away. Right away, got to come in right away. And then he said to Jed, who's standing outside there, he said, "Hey Jed, give the man a tip." And the guy, the taxi driver, is hoping to get a tip, and Jed comes up to him and says, "Oh yeah, I got a good tip for you." And yes, sir, Mr. Because the guy knows that Mr. Clampett's a millionaire. Yes, sir, Mr. Clamp. I think you should plant your corn early this year. I was 8. It's not my fault. I was 8. What can I say? Plant your corn early this year. There's your tip. Cloud 7. No snow on the road. 90% of the snow on my yard has melted. Oh, that's fantastic for Calgary. That is good stuff. Fabulous, because you guys got a lot of snow last month, and it's good to see it all dissipating. That's good to, especially off the roads. We don't want it on the roads in Calgary. Oh, the Beverly Hillbillies. Isn't that something? That show ran for a decade, I think, from like 61 to 71 or 72, something like that. Unbelievable. And then I believe that the star of the show, Jed Clampett, what was his name? What was the star of the show for the Beverly Hillbillies? He ended up doing another show, like a detective type show, and that lasted for a decade. He did really well as an actor. I mean, he kept making money, and he was a movie star, a movie actor prior to the TV show, and he had done a ton of movies way back when, I think. So very, very good, very, very good. Anyway, what can I say? And I'm not sure. Was it the young Buddy Epson? Thank you, Lee. Buddy Epson, right? And the young son, the doofus. He did extremely well in Hollywood after that show. He was, I believe, in an executive role after this show was over. He made a ton of money. Jethro with his go-go's in Taz. His goes in Taz. I don't know what that means. I have no idea, and I don't know what this means. So I gotta kind of put people in timeout. So I have no idea what this is. Wasn't it Burnaby Jones? Yes, he was in Burnaby Jones, and I think that was one of those shows that wasn't a top 10, but wasn't a bottom 10 show. It was kind of like a top 30 show on whatever nights, Tuesdays or Wednesday nights, and it was on for years. Yeah, Buddy Epson. 25 degrees and snowing here in New York City, says Blogging Trucker Reviews. Welcome. John Weir, he was supposed to be in the Tin Man on The Wizard of Oz. He was supposed to be that man. Isn't that something? Yeah, Buddy Epson was an actor, film actor in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, television, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. A real interesting life. Epson was almost in The Wizard of Oz. He had an allergic reaction to the Tin Man makeup. Isn't that something? Yeah, isn't that something? Oh, my, my, my. And I believe, do you remember Mr. Drysdale's secretary? The secretary for the bank? Ms. Hathaway. Remember Miss Hathaway? Story goes, I read something up about her that in real life, never married, was known to be playing for the other team. How about that? And Nancy Culp, yeah. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think she did very well, and I think she left a lot of money to charitable causes. I could be wrong on that. Mary Kazor, our daughter and son are on the new Carnival ship to Cozumel. They are loving it. Very pretty in the Snapchats. Fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That's fabulous. She lost her election. That's right. She ran for office but didn't win. That's right. Mary's saying that the son-in-law and the daughter are having a great time on that ship. Cloud 7. I wonder if any cruise line will buy up the Global Dream, the mega ship for Dream Cruises, built by MF Werften, also owned by Genting. 7% complete. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Cloud 7. I was just going through that before you joined us. We were definitely talking. MSC is rumored to be interested from inside store sources. Let's say industry sources. How about that? Rumor has it MSC might be the entity that would be interested in that deal. Well, we'll see. Well, how about that, guys? Not bad, huh? Thank you, all of you, for being here today to visit with me. I so appreciate it. I promise you, when Jennifer and I get traveling, there will come a day. I'm sure there will come a day where we will get traveling. I look forward to catching up with you, and we will be able to produce some content for you of our travels, because right now we are not traveling. We are in Palm Desert, California. There's no doubt about that. But we're not going anywhere. We're kind of just hanging around here, trying to stay healthy and not get ill. And we're not doing day trips into any of the LA suburbs or anything like that. We're just trying to stay healthy as possible and not get sick, and hopefully, we'll get some travels later, this early this year, and out will come the camera, and then videos will show up on this channel of Traveling with Bruce, where Bruce is actually traveling. So I'll let you know. I see 90 thumbs ups today. I cannot thank you enough. For those of you who've been able to throw a thumbs ups our way, this is fabulous. If we could find any of you out there, if there are 10 of you or more that are here now, if any of the 10 of you out there who haven't given us a thumbs up, are you able to throw a thumbs ups on our show here? We could break the 100 barrier and get into the triple digits before I say my goodbyes. I see 94 now. Only 6 more to go. We just need 6 more now. We have 94 thumbs ups. Thank you, guys. If you could hit the thumbs up button, there's another one. 95 is in. 5 to go now. We only 5 more thumbs ups, and we will have 100 thumbs ups. There's number 96. 4 to go. Thank you again for those of you who are able to hit the thumbs up button for us and get us over the top. There's number 97. Look at that. 97. Love it. Love it. Thank you, guys. John is saying, thanks for coming on this week, says John Weir. Good night, everybody. Take care, says Miss M. Blogging Trucker Reviews. Russell over at I Like Cruise Ships is going back on the Carnival Horizon ship soon after 15 months off. Andrew Cabate, did you hear that one crew member from the NCL Escape has died while in quarantine? I did hear that unfortunate story. We have 101 thumbs up. So you guys are unbelievable. Thank you for coming through big time. Cloud 7, thanks. Bruce came in late. Rocky Grasso, we had 5 inches of snow Friday night, Saturday morning here in Chesapeake, Virginia Beach. It is still melting. Stephen Stair, we are back on the horizon March 5th. So hopefully it won't be canceled. That ship just got repaired in an emergency dry dock. It is back to work. Blogging Trucker Reviews. First thing up, always a thumbs up for you, Bruce. That's the first thing I do every time I join you. Thank you so much for these thumbs ups. 102 now have come in from all of you who've been here today. I do appreciate it. If you're watching on the rerun, hit the thumbs up button. They count. Thumbs ups on any of my shows actually makes YouTube send more people over here to check out the channel, and I thank you. Folks, I hope you have a good week this week. I hope you all take care of yourselves. Stay healthy for me. Don't get ill. And join me again next Monday, at the very least. Those of you who are members of this channel, you've joined this channel. Monday night, 7 o'clock, is a member-only hangout show from 7 till 8. And then 8 o'clock right here is the big show every Monday night live. where we talk cruising and traveling and whatever. And I look forward to as many of you as possible rejoining us next week. Very interesting info tonight. Have a good night. Thank you, Sandy. Beverly, wash hands. Blogging Trucker, we are booking on the Carnival Horizon soon. Oh, that's awesome. Donna, I'm number 103. Donna, thank you for being thumbs up 103. I got a 104 now. I got a thumbs up 104 sitting here. You got to love that. Not bad for a guy who only has 69 people here right now. This is great stuff. Maybe we should stay another hour. Maybe we can get 200 thumbs ups. No, I'm not going to stay another hour and get 200 thumbs up. I have to go. I'm really tired. Thank you, all of you. Good to see you back. Bruce, stay safe. Thanks, Blog and Trucker. Steve Butler, thanks. Bruce, great show as always. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for your support. And those of you who are members of the channel, you know how I feel about you guys. You are the backbone. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you next Monday. Stay safe. And let's go traveling real soon. Take care, guys. Bye for now.